On RTE1 now, it's time for the news with Anne Doyle.
Good evening and welcome. 11 EU finance ministers have fixed their exchange rates against the euro on the eve of the launch of the single currency. €1 will be worth just under 79 Irish pence. The Taoiseach Bertie Ahern has predicted a new era of price stability and low interest rates.
"3,000 balloons carrying the euro symbol were released to mark the launch of Europe's new currency. Close by, finance ministers from the 11 participating member states were announcing the rates at which their currencies will be irrevocably fixed against the euro. From tonight, the euro will be worth just under 79 Irish pence. The exchange rates between our pound and the currencies of other members of the euro club are also locked forever. So, for instance, an Irish pound is now equal to 2.48 Deutschmarks, 8.3 French francs, and just over 211 Spanish pesetas.
When we will have a kind of a summary of what happened during this 20th century, we will have some sad story and some happy story, and among the happy stories we will have the birth of the euro.
Charlie McCreevy ignored doctors' orders and left his sickbed to attend today's ceremony. He said successive Irish governments had worked to achieve this day. He predicted the Irish economy will benefit.
I am 110% convinced that's the right step for Ireland at this particular stage.
The head of the new European Central Bank, a man who's already influencing all our mortgage payments, slept through some of the ceremony. The commissioner overseeing the single currency launch struggled to open one of the champagne bottles. But this genuinely was a day when history was made. Here in Brussels, revellers are already gathering to welcome in the new year. 1999 will also mark the start of the euro era. And the early victims of that change could well include the currencies of those member states who've opted to stay outside the eurozone. Tommy Gorman, RTE News, at the Grand Place in Brussels.
Hi, Central Bank here. Can you give me a quote on the spot mark Irish, please?
Central Bank official Frank Swords made the last official trade in Irish pounds just before 12:30 today.
At 38, so I'll do 1 million Irish. That's great, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
On March 30th, 1979, Frank made the very first trade in Irish pounds after the link with sterling was broken.
I was here for the birth of the Irish pound, and I suppose this is the end of it, so it's been, doesn't feel like 20 years to tell you the truth.
For us it's quite a historic day. Our immediate worry, I can assure you, is to change everything in this room and indeed in many rooms of the Central Bank utterly by Monday morning. We have to be ready to go with the new system at 6 o'clock on Monday morning. So we're here for the weekend and we look forward to a totally new era.
Over at government buildings, the euro's arrival was welcomed by the Taoiseach.
In every analysis done in the Irish economy over the last decade about the euro and about the third stage of economic monetary union, it showed that Ireland would gain out of it, and I think we will.
Meanwhile, at the Financial Services Centre, the first Bank of Ireland staffer to trade Irish pounds back in 1979 was back for one last nostalgic trade.
Are you looking forward to the euro now?
Oh yeah, of course we are. I mean, it's going to bring us new challenges to us.
So the Irish pound passes into history. At midnight tonight, its 20-year existence as an independent currency will come to an end. From then on, the pound in your pocket will be a subdivision of the euro. Sean Whelan, RTE News, Dublin.
A convicted drug dealer from Cork has been sentenced to 2 years in jail in the Netherlands after he was found guilty of trafficking in ecstasy tablets. 48-year-old Shawnee O'Flynn from Toker was arrested in the Dutch city of Utrecht in August after a major surveillance operation involving drug squad Gardaí in Cork and the Dutch police. Mopping up is continuing in North Cork after 2 days of severe flooding. In one of the worst affected towns, Fermoy, people are trying to get back to normal life.
The worst floods to hit County Cork in around 20 years. The swell from the river Blackwater swallowing up buildings and belongings in a sea of muck and water. The dirty business of cleaning up in Fermoy began at dawn. This restaurant was just yards from where the river burst its banks. In this pub, staff did their best to get back into business.
As you can see, that's from this section of the bar. There was roughly about 5.5 feet of water. The furniture was totally destroyed, and it's going to take at least 2 to 3 weeks to get back into business again, and this the busiest night of the year.
One would feel like crying to think of all everybody has lost around this area here. It's really devastating, and I just couldn't put into words how sad I am for everybody around here. One of the greatest disasters to hit Fermoy for at least 20 years.
It's around here where the flooding was at its worst, where the river Blackwater burst its banks. Today the situation is much better. The river has returned to where it should be. But local people are concerned that with bad weather forecast and with more rain on the way, the river could return and prolong their New Year nightmare. Michael Mulqueen, RTE News, Cork.
And that's the news this evening. On behalf of the RTE Newsroom and on my own behalf, may I wish you a very happy New Year. I'll see you in 99.